And BELP is here essentially as a local public-private sector partnership, and our job is to try and secure conditions for the maintenance of our economic prosperity. The RDA, on the other hand, is an agency who's got essentially the same task. Its job is to try and make sure that there's appropriate focus on economic development, and you won't, and neither of those organisations do you necessarily see them forefront, because they sit very much in the background. For the RDA, you might, for instance, recognise the Business Link brand, or the enterprise hubs. Finance South East, we're going to hear from later. The RDA were very instrumental in bringing the National Enterprise Academy to the South East. Investor development managers. There's quite a lot of stuff goes on in the background, but they don't push their brand. But they are very active, and a lot of it's covered in this brochure, which you can pick up next door. Okay, purpose for today. Well, I think we all need to remember. I think those of us in business do remember this. We all need to remember that everything that we hold dear is in fact paid for by wealth creators. Whether it's antenatal units, schools, flak jackets for our troops in Afghanistan, everything that we hold dear is paid for by people, by organisations that add value, create wealth. And in fact, a lot of the things that we don't hold that dear are also paid for by us. Banking bailouts, Fred's pension pot, failed IT projects, all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, blessed are the wealth creators, for we shall inherit the bill. And we shouldn't forget, in numbers terms, I run a company that's £3 million turnover. That business makes no money. We'll make no money this year, we'll lose money this year, and it didn't make much money last year. But that business contributes something of the order of £700,000 to public coffers. Once you add in VAT, national insurance, rates, taxes on fuel, all those sorts of things. So a business, very much, we should not forget, even if it makes no profit, contributes usually more to the state and more to the people who work for it than it actually does to the owners, and we should never forget that. And so we're here today, I think, to recognise that, and to recognise that we all must work collectively to try and ensure that our productive capacity in Buckinghamshire remains strong and vibrant and doesn't unnecessarily atrophy or collapse. And we all know that we've been hit by a sort of combination of man-made disasters. We've had the whirlwind in the financial markets, which has catalysed an earthquake in construction and housing. We all know about the drought that exists in liquidity, and I think we're all fearful of, and in fact engaged in, aspects of the tsunami of job losses that are following. And today, I think, is about trying to get behind some of the hype that exists either in the media or in our own minds, to get to the data, if you like, the management information. What exactly is going on out there? What is happening to job creation, job losses? What is happening to the markets that we're operating in? And secondly, given that we do hear quite a lot about the attempts of the state in its various guises to help us, how can we get more help more quickly into our businesses? So those are the two outcomes for today. And I hope the business people here will leave today understanding principally two things. One, being better informed about what really is going on in the economy, nationally, regionally and locally. And secondly, being clearer on how to access that help that is available to us. Of course, Buckinghamshire is not prosperous by accident. We are a prosperous county. We are one of the biggest net contributors to the national purse, as is the South East, in fact, as a region. In fact, only 3 regions in the country pay money in net terms to the national coffers, and we're one of them, and we're quite an important part of this particular region. And we are the entrepreneurial heart of Britain, and that is exampled in a number of different ways. And hopefully it will come out in some of the stats later. Firstly, business startup rates in Buckinghamshire are amongst the highest in the world. Secondly, we have an enterprise education system, probably second to none. If you look at what's going on in Buckinghamshire, I've mentioned the establishment of the National Enterprise Academy. What more natural a place to establish it than Buckinghamshire? But we also, in Aylesbury, we have a renewed college. We have a renewed work-based training provider, an Aylesbury Training Group, that's moved to a completely new facility. We have other private sector suppliers. We have Amersham and Wycombe College going through a complete revamp in terms of its approach to trying to help business. And here in Wycombe, Buxton University is going through a massive rebuild programme and a complete shift towards focus on business. So we've got startups, we've got an enterprise-focused education system, and we create some of the top entrepreneurs in the world. A lot of them we hear and know about, so people like Peter Jones, Mike Clare dreams are obviously well engaged with Adams Park, and a lot of other people who are in the room today and otherwise in play in Buckinghamshire. So Buckinghamshire is, I would suggest, the entrepreneurial heart of Britain. So the running order today, we're going to hear from 7 speakers, from the Bank of England to Business Link and various others. And can I just again thank all of them in case I forget later for their contribution today, and all of the sponsors also today for the stands, etc. And I'm hoping what each of them is going to do is to share either some really interesting stats that allow those of us in business to take more informed decisions, or to point us more clearly in the direction of help that's available.